Oh, yeah, Gabrielle De La Res and Bad Habit inside the jukebox at 91.7 FM and muhlenberg.edu/WMUH, the only station that matters. As you all know, I had Gab on a few weeks ago, back in February, as a matter of fact, and the air check from that show is available on YouTube if you search Gabrielle De La Res, and also on her Facebook page. So if you missed it, go check that out. Today, we're here with Stewart Brodian.
And I'm Hack. How you doing?
And you're Hack?
Back.
Oh, back. Okay.
Well, no, I'm not old enough yet to be a hack, but some people might consider me that, a wash-up, you know. I mean, I'm only 12, but no.
Gee, you look so mature for your age.
Oh, yeah, I just started shaving last year.
Oh, yeah, that explains the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The shadow knows.
You know, I heard an interesting story about the shadow, and it's actually about Freddy Krueger, believe it or not. When they were trying to design the makeup for Freddy Krueger, the shadow character was an inspiration.
Uh-huh. That explains the hat.
Yeah.
Well, I can continue talking about myself. What else do I ever talk about besides me?
A typical Howard fashion.
Oh, yes. I'm so great. I'm so humble. Actually, for 10 years here in the Valley, I made a pretty good contribution to the scene. Not just as a radio announcer. I do a regular show at DIY, but I've also been here at MUH and also LVR. But I also used to publish an independent newspaper in the area called Nickel.
I remember it well. I used to get my copies down in Easton at the main library.
Oh, yeah. That's one place where I left it. In fact, I left it in many places. I did everything myself. I researched all the information. I typed it all up myself, did all the, paste up. I don't know if they do that anymore, but, and I found my own advertisers and I distributed it myself all throughout, not just Lehigh Valley, but I branched out a little bit. There was some other publication up in the Stroudsburg area, and memory escapes me, but it was a really good publication, but it reported on the scene out there. And I was going to call it quits after about 5 years with my publishing, because I wanted to move on and do different things, but that publication stopped publishing. And some other publication in the area also stopped publishing, and I felt if I stopped, that would have left too much of a void in the area, so I prodded it along for another 5 years. And it turned out to be a pretty good thing, because there was the Lehigh Valley Blues Jam Festival in the area as well.
Oh.
And they asked me to publish a special issue just for their festival. So I did.
Great.
I think it was 2 or 3 years. In fact, it's one of the few issues that I made some real money on. It was a labor of love. What can I say?
Well, kind of like my radio show here is a labor of love. You know, I know this is a very old reference for a guy my age. I'm only 37, but I feel kind of like Alan Freed. You know, when I break out a new artist and things like that. You know, it's really cool for me.
Oh yeah, he. I wouldn't say he died in obscurity, but they caught him on the payola scam, and I think he lived long enough to see the Beatles and Ed Sullivan. So at least he knew. Yeah. He knew he made some significant accomplishment. Well, I mean, I'm sure he knew he made some significant accomplishment, but it's just too bad that he was the fall guy for all of that.
Yeah.
It isn't always like whenever you try to do the most for some people, sometimes you end up suffering the worst. Case in point,
exactly.
Gandhi. Case in point, Jesus. The list goes on and on and on.
I'm not even going to get into the Jesus thing. I can go on.
I never got into Jesus either, but
that's not what I meant. Not what I meant there, but we'll just leave that there.
So, but somebody suggested, I should publish something because I kept writing down lists of different places to jam at for different musicians that I knew. Somebody suggested, why don't you publish a paper? And I thought it was a dumb idea at first, but you know what? There was a fellow that I was involved with, Ian Bruce, and he used to publish something called MAPS, Musicians, Artists, Poets, Performers, Songwriters. And way back when, he kind of took me under his wing. And I went along with him distributing his paper for him, and eventually he got to the point where he paid me to distribute the paper for him. In fact, Ian Bruce is one of the people behind the Lehigh Valley Music Awards.
Oh, okay.
One of the originators. So, and I'm proud to admit that I have won one award at one of the events.
Oh, great. All right, we're going to get back to more Stu. I just want to give you listeners a quick little weather check here. Let me come over to my computer monitor.